Is this Britain's best coffee? Let's find out. Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we're looking at coffee for the first time. I'm pretty excited about this one. If you've been watching any of my other videos, you'll probably notice that around here, blocking this menagerie of cups and cables, is in this bag of 200 degrees coffee, and I wanted to do a video on it for a while, but I'm not really that knowledgeable when it comes to the specifics of coffee, but I have tried a lot and I know that I like it, and I generally have a good tongue for which ones are bad. So this is one of my favourites. It's a local company called 200 Degrees here in Nottingham, and I thought it made sense to start our search for Britain's best coffee at home. So a quick check on the format of these videos. Basically, I'm going to be getting a new coffee fairly frequently, showing it off to you, showing off what the beans look like, sampling it as an espresso and as a cappuccino using my Siemens EQ300 fairly basic bean to cup machine. So I'm not going to be doing any barista skills. I do have a proper espresso machine stashed above, but to be honest, it's a little bit faulty and I'm just not the best person at using it. So we're going to stick with that for consistency reasons. Quick backstory on 200 Degrees. It's all roasted in Nottingham, and I believe their roast house, is that what they call it, is down around the Notts County Stadium area, Meadow Lane area, I believe. The company was apparently born out of two bar owners looking for the best coffee to serve in their bars, and they couldn't find any, and well, they ended up doing it themselves. Should clarify, this is not the only product that they sell. This is their flagship Brazilian love affair coffee, and it's kind of a mid to dark roast. There's some slightly darker beans in there and some lighter ones, as you can tell. So just the beans on their own. Oh, fresh and sweet is how I'd describe that. I have tried a couple of their other products many years ago and they were all brilliant, so this is a fairly good representation of the company as a whole, but this one is just my personal favourite and their flagship, so it made sense to start with that. I'm going to sample the espresso first and then move on to the cappuccino. It's going to be difficult to show you these without spilling it everywhere, so hopefully you'll get some nice montage clips of me using the machine. There's no sourness there at all. You get kind of a, obviously espresso is strong, so you get a little bit, with a really sharp espresso, you get kind of this tingly thing in the back of your jaw. It's almost sour. Well, it feels like it's going to do it, and then just doesn't. It's just super smooth. It's almost, I think it's because your body has learned to expect with that strong coffee taste you get that sour kick, so it's getting ready for it, and then it just never happens with this. I'm certainly not the best person at describing what coffee tastes like in kind of wine tasting notes. I feel like this is a little bit of everything. It's super smooth, and it's got a few subtle mild woody notes, a little bit of subtle smoke, and it's more creamy than it is chocolatey. I'm sure there's definitely some chocolate notes in there, but it's just the kind of fresh coffee creaminess that comes out. I generally prefer darker roast coffee, and I think this sits in terms of the taste profile there, but in terms of the smoothness and the lightness of it, it sits more towards the lighter grassy stuff, while there's no grassy notes within this. Let's see how that transfers into a cappuccino. That's interesting. We get these glass milk bottles and these rubber caps which just ended up on the floor, so it's got a dog hair on it now, but these rubber caps to seal them, and it's just popped off. There's no pressure in there. I've got milk's fine, it's what's in there. How bizarre. Right, back to business, onto the cappuccino. Frothy coffees and moustaches, not the best of friends. Now I'm testing this like I think a lot of people at home buying this product would. I'm using semi-skimmed milk, which I know is not ideal. I'm using a bean to cup machine, which again probably isn't ideal from the barista's point of view. But let's be honest, it's how you're going to use it, so we may as well try it how it's going to be used. With that coffee mixed in with the milk, it changes fairly dramatically. It's still got that overall taste profile, but I feel like it's a bit more cream chocolate bit to it than maybe the kind of the smoky and the wooden subtle notes that are in the espresso are just gone when you mix it with milk. If you want to introduce someone to proper full-bodied coffee but don't want to scare them off, this is where you should go with that, because this is this is definitely where you should go with that, because this is right on the money for that kind of introduction. All I really want now is some pastries to go with it. Good creamer on the espresso, it stayed right till the end, it's not disappearing. I mean, overall this is just a really solid bit of coffee. I don't know what else to say about it, if I'm totally honest, and I was hoping this would be a slightly longer video. So a little backstory about my experience with 200 degrees. I discovered them by chance in my, I was about to say my local bike shop, but it's certainly not local. There's a bike shop that I use up in the north of Nottinghamshire, and they opened a few years ago with a coffee shop attached to it, and they had a full-blown, I don't know what you call it, commercial barista style coffee machine, and they were serving 200 degrees coffee and selling bags of it, which off the back of that I bought a coffee machine and I was off and hooked on this stuff. It is simply fantastic. It is slightly pricier than buying a premium from Marks and Spencer's or somewhere like that, but it is pretty much, I think overall it tends to work out a bit cheaper than a lot of the other independent premium brands online, so go check it out. Just wanted to finish this up by saying, if you've got any recommendations for coffee suppliers that you think I should try and compare, then I'd be really interested. Obviously this is the first one, so at current 200 degrees coffee is Britain's best coffee by default. I do suspect it could sit in that top spot for some time, so I would be interested. If anyone's got any recommendations, please let me know and I'll get some ordered ASAP. There really is no better way to start your morning than with one of those. Well, thank you very much for watching. It's been a short video, but I hope it was helpful. Please like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you will be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.